What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So yes guys, we are back for another season, guys. Yes guys, we are back. This is the 2020 to the 2021 Premier League season. We are back. We are going to be talking about Manchester United's first game back in the Premier League for the new campaign, new season, clean slate. Let's go again. So in today's video, guys, we are going to be talking about Manchester United's last game that we went and played, Crystal Palace at Old Trafford at the Theatre of Dreams, and it just didn't go well, did it? It was an embarrassment, and we'll get into that in a minute. Anyway guys, let's get straight into today's video. So talking about the starting 11, so we started with De Gea, Fosu Mensah, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, Pogba, McTominay, James, Fernandes, Rashford and Martial. Getting into the overall reaction now. Crap, fucking dreadful, embarrassing, I'm fuming, not fucking good enough, lost for words. Personally, I don't think it was a penalty. Performance was shocking. Now, the first question I'm going to get is, Brett, new season, where's your new top? Well, because I've not been back in the UK this summer, I've not been able to travel because of restrictions where I live. Because if you go out of the country, you're not allowed to come back in. I had to stay here in Malaysia, really. I've not been able to go out the country, really. I've ordered my new top. It's probably going to take over a month. Hopefully, should be wearing this up until, hopefully, before when I do the analysis for the Newcastle video, which is next month. Hopefully I should have my new top by then. You won't have to look at this top for long. But yes guys, let's get straight into today's video. We've cleared that. Manchester United's first game back in the Premier League, new season, new campaign, clean slate, the 2020 to the 2021 Premier League season. Now, obviously, I think we expected big things in this game, and we didn't see that happen, unfortunately. I mean, we're playing Crystal Palace at home. I think you'd expect high expectations for Manchester United coming into this game. We should be prepared, we should be ready, but we weren't, unfortunately. I'm first going to say well done to Crystal Palace. They were absolutely brilliant. They outplayed us, they outfought us, they were brilliant. I don't think they outpassed us, but they were brilliant. They were organised. They made it tough for us. But getting on to Manchester United now, we were fucking embarrassing. Absolutely shocking out there. That's the first defeat that we've suffered since January. The last loss was Burnley at home as well. This is the second time now we've let Crystal Palace come to Old Trafford and we've let them bully us twice, back to back as well. Why are we letting a team like Crystal Palace beat us? You know, this team has come from London, right? They've travelled up from London. This team has 7 to 8 injuries, and we couldn't beat a fucking team in Crystal Palace with 7 to 8 injuries. When you expect 7 to 8 injuries, they're fucked. But no, they were well managed, they were well organised, they absolutely tore us apart. United, on the other hand, were dreadful, absolutely embarrassing, absolutely shocking. I'm fuming. That wasn't good enough last night. And I mean, fuck me. If that's going to carry on for the rest of the season, God willing, I do not know what's going to happen, and it's going to be an interesting season. But I tell you what, that is an embarrassment to the club. The fans are embarrassed. The fans are fuming. Turn it around. Now, obviously, who do you blame this on? I'm not going to blame this on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Obviously, you have to give him stick because obviously of his tactics and his game plan and stuff like that. But you know what? I'm going to blame the board for this, because the board this summer have been dreadful. They've not got Ollie's signings. We've been linked with Jadon Sancho. We've dragged it on for far too long. We've not paid up for the money that they want. And we're dragging it on, and we've not got Jadon Sancho. The players that we've only signed is Donny Van De Beek. Welcome, Donny Van De Beek. You've been first game, debut goal, fantastic. He was the positive in that game last night. But you know what? I am sick and tired of this team now, because what it is if we put in a performance like that week in, week out, we're fucked at the end of the day. We cannot be playing like that week in, week out. That is a wake-up call for those players, and they need to take a long, hard look at themselves in the mirror, because if they perform like that, it's not good enough. I'm going to blame this on the board for not getting the signings that Ollie wanted, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'll get onto him in a minute, and I'll get onto the players in a minute as well. But overall, on a whole, dreadful, embarrassing, shocking, and fuming. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. I mean, first half we were appalling, absolutely appalling. No energy, no fight, no passion, no pride, no cohesion, no tempo, no intensity. Too sloppy, giving possession away. We're not good enough. Get a bloody grip. It's not good enough. I'm really annoyed, and you could see it in Ollie's eyes last night. He was furious after that. He was fuming. You could tell in his eyes. He was fuming with those players. And if we perform like that, fuck me, these players better get prepared. And that goes to show we've not had much in time in preparation. Palace had 4 friendlies, we only had 1. And, some players have, it's not been good enough. And I have no words to describe that performance last night. We were not good enough. And it's a wake-up call. Absolute wake-up call. And if those players do that next week against Brighton currently right now beating Newcastle, so they're going to have to get a grip, and they're going to have to really get down working hard. And not good enough, no quality in our play, and that's what you're dealing with at the end of the day, because we've brought in 1 signing over the past 2 months, so it's not good enough. And if we perform like that, we're fucked at the end of the day. What did I make of the performance? Fucking dreadful, embarrassing, shocking, I'm fuming, and it's not fucking good enough for my liking. Where do I start? The first half, no energy, no fight, no passion, no pride, not playing for the badge, not playing for the club, no intensity, no tempo, sloppy passing, losing possession easily. The defending was abysmal. No creativity in the midfield. The attack, where was the last pass? Where was the final third? The crosses were shocking. Oh my god, everything went wrong in that game. We were appalling in that game. A part of my rant as well, what I'm also going to say is first goal that we conceded, crap defending. All 3 of the goals came from Lindelof, really. They're all targeting Lindelof. He's not a great centre-back. They're going on about he didn't get dribbled last season. They call him the Iceman, more like a dance man. For fuck's sake. You can't defend like that. Second goal, alright, penalty. Shouldn't have been a penalty. Third goal. What are you doing, Lindelof? Stick your fucking foot in. Just don't jockey him. Put your foot in. You've got a foot. Stop the shot off. You're on your man. Put your foot in. That's all you have to do. Don't be scared. Put your foot in. Lindelof, pack your bags, mate, and go. You're another one. If we want to challenge for the Premier League, a centre-back partnership in Maguire and Lindelof will not win the Premiership. We've got to get one of them out, unfortunately, and that has to be Lindelof. Lindelof is not good enough. The centre-back partnership, we've said this time and time again on my channel, the centre-back partnership does not work in Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire. Get up at Moncano or get Koulibaly in right now. There was no desire, there was no commitment in our play. We were dreadful in that game. Absolutely dreadful. Not good enough. Second half, no words to describe it, there was no difference. Flopped, didn't improve. I'm shocked to see such a poor performance. The manner how we lost that game, awful. Attitude, awful. These players need to get a grip. Not good enough, and I'm not having that again. Get a bloody grip, and let's get back to work, and let's get back to winning games, because that was awful. Why did we play so poor? Now I want to mention Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now the tactics were poor last night against Crystal Palace. What was the tactic? Get it out wide to Rashford or Dan James and hope for the best? Fuck me. The tactics need to be better than that. The tactics is really get the ball out wide, not only just to Rashford, but James as well. And they had Bruno playing more as a left winger. What the hell's all that about? He needs to be in the centre. He's the creative midfielder. Fair play to Bruno, he tried to have a go, just wasn't the game for him last night. That's the first game that Bruno and Igalo has come into and they've lost a game as a Manchester United player as well. The game plan was not right, unfortunately. There was no plan B. Also, there was just no energy, no intensity, no tempo in our play. We were flat, sloppy, didn't look bothered. We treated this game as a friendly. Sloppy passing, losing possession easily. The defending was absolutely abysmal. The midfield, Pogba and McTominay, oh my god, they were awful last night. Pogba, his passing was off, completely trash. McTominay, as a central defensive midfielder, jogging back when Bruno's doing your job for you. Wake up. I mean, Bruno had a go, he tried. Not enough creativity as well. Attack, what happened in the final third, what happened in the crosses, what happened in the final pass. That's why we played so poor. The list could go on and on and on, and so much went wrong in that game. It's getting back to basics, unfortunately, what we need to do now. That's why we played so poor. Now I need to mention about the second goal. Firstly, was it a penalty? De Gea then made a great save. Now you're thinking, let's push on and get back into the game. The referee then gets a word in his ear to retake the penalty because De Gea was off his line by an inch, and Zaha retakes the penalty and scores to make it 2-0. What did I make of the whole VAR controversy? Getting into the first question, was it a penalty? No. For me, it was not a penalty because, one, his arm's in a natural position, pointed something else out as well. The Crystal Palace players never shouted or screamed for a penalty. Even Ayew was the one that hit the ball, never reacted, never went to the referee and said that's a penalty. So even the Palace players didn't know that was a penalty. So that's a disgrace as well. If the Palace players don't react, if it is or not a penalty, then they know that it's not even a penalty as well. Even Ayew knew himself that wasn't even a penalty because he didn't even shout or scream to the ref, that's a penalty. It was such a harsh penalty for me, it's not a penalty. And I mean, we went back to that last night with Lindelof. They get awarded the penalty. Then if you watch the Arsenal and West Ham game, there was something similar on Gabriel, and that was not given as a penalty. This VAR is ruining the game. It's ruining the sport. Get VAR out. It's a shambles. An absolute shambles. It's ruining the game. It's ruining the sport. There's no consistency. It's awful. Now, obviously, then De Gea makes a perfect save. 1-0. Ayew fucks it up. De Gea makes a brilliant save. You would think there's nothing wrong with that. Carry on with the game. We carried on with the game. Now, this is what I think is as well. What I think about this is this. We carried on the game, and then Martin Atkinson gets a word in his ear. If you carry on the game, you carry on playing the game. You can't carry on playing the game and then get a word in your ear and say, oh, there's something wrong with that penalty. It's not good enough. If there's something not right with that penalty, you have to do it right away. Never mind about waiting a minute or two and then he gets the word in the ear. It's not good enough. If you see that there's something wrong with that penalty, you do it right away. You don't let play go on and then go back to the penalty. It doesn't make sense at the end of the day. So it's not good enough. I was really annoyed with that because you just think there's nothing wrong with that. And going back to consistency, does everyone remember when United had 2 penalties against Norwich last year? Rashford took 1 penalty, missed it. Tim Krul came off his line. Martial missed the penalty. Tim Krul came off his line and they never got retaken. Message to the FA and to the referees. There's no consistency. Sort this out. It's not good enough. That was pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. There's just no consistency. It's ruining the sport. It's ruining the game. My personal view is get it out. It's ruining the sport. There's just no consistency whatsoever. If you've got to retake that penalty because De Gea came off his line and Tim Krul twice last season went off his line and they were not retaken, I find that all unfair and it's selfish, it's harsh, and that's how I feel about it. VAR is killing the sport. It's killing the sport of football. Get it out right now. Where do we need to improve? I think as a team we just need to get back to basics. It's just get back to the basics really. We need to be more ruthless. We need energy, we need quality, intensity, tempo. We need a lot. The passing needs to be a lot more quicker, needs to be a lot more sharper. The movement was shocking as well last night, so we need to be a lot more quicker and sharper on the ball. It's all about getting back to the basics for me really, and that's how we need to improve. Get back to the basics. The passing needs to improve, the defence, the midfield, the attack needs to improve. Unfortunately, it's getting back to the basics and there was just no cohesion whatsoever. That's what you get punished. I think for me, just get back to the basics. That's how I need to improve the team, by getting back to the basics of what we're good at doing. That's obviously playing with energy, being ruthless, play high intensity, high tempo, push the fullbacks back. It's just the basics really. The passing, the movement, the decision making, the man management, everything. The game management, everything. Get back to the basics. The only way you're going to improve is getting back to the basics. How do we turn this around for our next game against Brighton? Well, I mean, if you ask me, how do we turn this around now against Brighton is, I think we're lucky enough to have a game during midweek actually. To have a game like Luton Town in the Carabao Cup. My dad said to me tonight, we need another friendly during the week. We can treat this game against Luton as a friendly, but also we're in a competition in the Carabao Cup. So it's good that we got the Carabao Cup during the week, so the players can find the confidence, get the winning mentality back into the team. Obviously, Ollie's not going to be playing the first team as well. That means at least you still get the mood back up in the dressing room. The mood will be a lot more better around the camp. That's how you just turn it around really. Get a good win under our belts against Luton Town. Get the confidence back, get the winning mentality back. Win that game in the week, we'll feel much more better about ourselves. The players will be a lot more happier, the mood will be a lot more happier in the dressing room, the mood in the camp will be a lot more better as well. There'll be smiles on their faces. Go in the game against Brighton with confidence and go and improve that. Go and kick on and improve the team with much better cohesion. We just need to see an improvement. The next game against Brighton Hove Albion next weekend. How do we beat Brighton Hove Albion? Well, currently Brighton have, I can confirm, Brighton have won a game against Newcastle, which is a very good result for them. So they'll be absolutely buzzing with that result, performance as well. So obviously, well done to Brighton of winning that game against Newcastle. How do we beat Brighton? Well, Brighton have sort of now gone to a different formation. They like to play with a 3-5-2, and that's the system that they're playing this season. And what they're doing is they're playing with they play Lamptey as a right wing back. So what it's all about is all Brighton have scored another goal, 3-0, and they play March as well as a left wing back as well, and they play three at the back with Ben White, Duncan, Webster, and then they have Trossard just in behind, and in front of them is Mopai and Connolly. So, and Basuma's got red carded, so he'll have to miss the game against us as well. So that'll be a bonus as well. So that means Lallana may have to play. And but you know what? How do we beat Brighton? I think what it is you have to attack those fullbacks. And what it is you have to attack those fullbacks to push them back, and that's where you turn into players like, you turn into the likes of Rashford, James, you name them, Lingard, whoever. So whoever's playing as a right winger and a left winger, you've got to push those fullbacks back. And then what it is as well, we just need to be attacking from the get-go, and from the first whistle to the last whistle, we're going to have to be attacking, playing high intensity, high tempo. We've got to be ruthless with the ball. We've got to show that little bit more fight, that passion, that pride that we really want to win this game against Brighton. And we just need to see a lot. We need to be a lot more quicker with the movement needs to be a lot more quicker. We need to be a bit more sharper in our play as well. And we just need, the game management needs to be a lot more better. The decision making needs to be a lot more better, and the passing just needs to be a lot more quicker. The defending needs to we need to be a unit at the back. We're going to have to really defend as a unit, and I'm hoping to see Wan-Bissaka back as well. Midfield wise, it's all about the creativity as well. Whether if that's Bruno or Donny Van De Beek, whoever's going to feature in that game, the attack. And I think with the attack, we need to be ruthless, and we need to show a bit more fight and get stuck in a little bit more in that game as well. The crosses, we need better crosses in, hard and low crosses. We need to show more creativity in the game, and with we need a lot more out of the final third, a lot more and the final pass as well. And we just need to show that a little bit more fight, passion, pride, that we really want to win this game. And we need to fight. We need to fight from minute 1 to minute 90. Never mind not being bothered. And it's a lot to improve on in a short amount of time. But that's what the players have done. They've gone and put on the worst performance against Crystal Palace. So all the fans are expecting a better performance, and don't let us down on the weekend. And that's how you would have to beat Brighton. You'd have to push the fullbacks back. And if you don't push them back, they're just going to be mounting on the pressure, and they'll just be playing the long ball every single time, and they'll be targeting Lindelof, whether if he's going to play or not. So that's why defensively we'll need to be a bit more of a unit, and obviously once again it's all about, if we do have to go defensive against them, get on the attack and use the chance as well, and score on the chance as well. That's what it's all about as well. And so that's how you'd have to beat Brighton. They're a great team, and they're turning out really well. I think they got unfortunate against Chelsea, beating Newcastle 3-0 right now. So let's see. Looking forward to a good game against Brighton next weekend. Who was the worst player? Jesus. Pogba was one of them. Lindelof was another. And McTominay as well. I thought he was awful as well. Getting to the first goal, Fosu-Mensah passed it to McTominay. McTominay passed it to Greenwood. Greenwood tries to shoot, comes off the Palace player. Lindelof regains possession, passed it to Bruno. Bruno passed it back to Lindelof. Lindelof passed it to Fosu-Mensah. Fosu-Mensah puts in a good cross into the box. Palace failed to clear it. Van De Beek was in the right place at the right time and scores for 2-1. Getting into the stats now, possession for Manchester United, it was 75.8%, and for Crystal Palace it was 42.2%. Goals for Man United, it was 1, and for Crystal Palace it was 3. Total shots for Man United, it was 17, and for Crystal Palace it was 14. Shots on target for Man United, it was 4, and for Crystal Palace it was 5. Shot accuracy for Man United, it was 23.5%, and for Crystal Palace it was 35.7%. Shots inside the box for Man United, it was 7, and for Crystal Palace it was 9. Shots outside the box for Man United, it was 10, and for Crystal Palace it was 5. Total passes for Man United, it was 703 passes, and for Crystal Palace it was 225 passes. Pass accuracy for Man United was 86.2%, and for Crystal Palace it was 61.3%. James went off for Greenwood. Talk about Dan's performance. Played predictably badly on the right, having thrived on the left at Aston Villa last week, and was substituted at half-time for Mason Greenwood. Pogba went off for Van De Beek. Talk about Pogba's performance. Did not look fully fit and carelessly ceded possession at times. No surprise he was replaced by Van De Beek just after the hour mark. Fosu-Mensah went off for Igalo. Talking about Fosu-Mensah's performance. Officially the second choice right back, but Fosu-Mensah started tentatively before creating their first real chance for Mason Greenwood. Next up, we've got Brighton over Albion. They're currently 14th, but I don't think they are 14th because of obviously with the victory against Newcastle. Brighton are now sat 8th in the table. Great win for Brighton. They've just gone and beat Newcastle 3-0. They'll have the confidence. Like I said, going to have to really push back the full-backs. We need the creativity. Defensively, we need to be a bit more of a unit. Attack-wise, we need to be a lot more better. The crosses need to be a lot more better. The final pass, the final ball, we need everything out the final third. And if we want to win this game, we need to show that fight a bit more, that passion, that pride. We need to show that we really want to win this game. We're going to have to play for the badge, play for the club, and that's what it's all about. Our movement needs to be a lot more better. We need to be a lot more sharper on the ball, and we need to be up for this game. It's also down to that the players need to turn up as well. So that's how you really beat Brighton, and they've done fantastically well to get a win out of Newcastle, and they've done very well there for a good game against Brighton on the weekend. So far, they've only conceded 1 goal per game, and they've conceded 3 goals per game. They've now played 2 games. Obviously, they've just played Newcastle as I'm filming this video. They have won 1 game, drawn none, and lost 1 game. The one loss that they've suffered was in the first game against Chelsea, and they lost at home, surprisingly, 3-1. This will be the 24th meeting between Brighton and Man United. The last time Man United won away was on Tuesday the 30th of June 2020, and it ended 3-0 to Man United. The last time Man United lost away was on Sunday the 19th of August 2018, and it ended 3-2 to Brighton over Albion. The players to look out for is Lamptey, White, Webster, Dunk, Gross, Lallana, March, Proper, Connolly, Mopai, Trossard, Ali Razor. Hope you guys are enjoying another video. Please leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you are new. See you guys in a video in the next couple of days, and peace.